Happy Thursday, everybody. Sorry there was no vlog yesterday because I was out of my office running some private errands and I didn't have time once I came back quite late last night. So that's why there is probably a bit longer vlog today, just to make it up to you. I'm having a glass of red wine tonight. In a white wine glass, yes, I know, but yeah, I don't have any clean red wine glasses. So deal with it, I'd say. Cheers to you. This is a wonderful Shiraz, and I'm enjoying it quite a bit. The topic of today's vlog, I'm putting my glass away, don't worry. The topic of today's vlog is acrylics again. I'm going on with the review of different kinds of colors series. And I picked yellows today because, like I said, I promised you a longer vlog and I have to somehow sit comfortably in... Hold on, I'm gonna manage. There we go. So, I promised I'd give you a longer vlog. I said before that I have quite a bit of yellows because it's one of my favorite colors to paint with. I very, very much like yellow color on any kind of project, especially on nature projects, on canvas, on wood, on whatever. I like it a lot. And I like the warmer yellows more than the cool ones. But for whatever you paint in nature, you of course sometimes need a bit more of a cooler tone. So I'm going to show you all the yellows that I got at my favorite company, which are, if you're new to this channel, the vlogs or reviews of acrylics that I do, only of my favorite brand that I try to only use in the very near future. I'm using up all of the other brands currently and there's not very much left, so I'm good to go there. And eventually, even on my favorite brand here, I'm going to reduce the tones, the color tones that I'm going to buy, and minimize that to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 colors in the end. All the rest I can mix. Like I said in very many earlier vlogs, I'm experienced enough now and I'm just trying to reduce my stock. So I do have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 yellow colors with me, and my hands are quite small, so I need to show them roughly to you in 2 batches or maybe 3. The first ones are lemon yellow, cadmium yellow, hue deep. This is Indian yellow, Naples yellow, cadmium orange tone, which is more a yellow than a red, that's why I put that in there. Cadmium yellow tone, and last but not least, I need a hint, there we go, chrome yellow tone. So these are the ones that I have and that I use frequently, some more than others. But, excuse my voice by the way, I'm still a bit snotty, having a cold, but my throat doesn't hurt anymore, so I'm on the way getting better. So let's start with those 2 little ones, shall we? The reason, by the way, that I don't have them in big bottles like all of the other colors is that I had the same color from another company in my stock, and I wanted to use that up first before I buy the big bottles. They're quite expensive, I have to say, and these were only the backups if I run out of color with the other brands that I'm, now run out of. However, at that point where I bought them, I was not at the point deciding I was at the point deciding I'm going to reduce my stock to one company only, my favorite one. But I wasn't at that point where I said, okay, I'm also reducing all of the tones of that certain company just to give me more well, occasions, I'd say, to mix my colors on my own. So I wasn't there yet, so I bought those 2 little containers. Let's start with the lemon yellow. This is quite a cool yellow. There's not much red pigment in there. It's pretty much almost all pure chrome yellow. And chrome yellow, the one that I'm getting to later, this one here, is pretty much the clean yellow colored tone. Though it looks way more dull than the cadmium yellow, I have to say. Anyways, I'm getting ahead of myself. Lemon yellow. What do I use it for? What do I like about it? I like that it's super opaque. With very many yellows, you can go with one brush stroke and you have an opaque layer. I love that about the yellows. Also, I paint with them frequently and very, very much, like how many, like talking about what part or what percentage of canvas is colored with a yellow color. That is pretty high on my canvases. I very much like painting with yellow. However, the lemon yellow I use more for mixing than adding it purely, other than in certain flowers of cacti or lemons. It's lemon yellow, for God's sake. So I'm not using it pure in so many cases, again because it is a cool color, and with the yellows I'm more drawn to the warmer tones. I also like it a lot when it comes to spring painting, which means several flowers, and I'm not having all of the names, like what's it called, that yellow flower that blooms around, or that is famous for Easter time. What's it called? Just had it in my head a couple of minutes ago. I don't remember. So there's this bright lemon yellow flower that is very famous in my part of the world, or in the northern part of the world, on Easter. So it blossoms there, it's beautiful, it's very, very bright. I like to use the lemon yellow on that, pretty much pure, maybe mixed with a tiny bit of either white for the highlights, or tiny bit even of cadmium yellow dark for the shadows. Sometimes I even only mix it more with the green, with the stalk of the flower, to just have 2 tones there and not have it looking too warm. I hope you know what I mean. So anyway, this is where I like this color best, and that's where I use it a lot. I also use it a lot in cartoons, because there you can overdo the color. And when it comes to cartoony paintings, like for example the one that I did of the Swedish chef for my kitchen, if you're not familiar with it, just scroll through my channel. I published it earlier this year, if I remember correctly. So on paintings like that, I very much like these bright, clean colors that, well, they just have a certain vibrance that I very much like in cartoonish paintings. The next color that I have also in one of those small containers is cadmium yellow hue deep, and that's actually one that I guess I just remembered I do have also in, no, that's cadmium orange. No, I don't have any doubles. Okay, so this is pretty much one of my favorite yellows ever. I like the cadmium yellows, and I like the ones that go more into an orangey yellow than a clean, bright yellow. I like these a lot for sunsets. I like them a lot for any kind of nature paintings, especially with flowers, or even now in the more autumny paintings. I like this color tone a lot. It's very warm, it's cozy. and it's very pleasant to the eye. And this one is a great counterpart to indigo blue. So these two colors work perfectly on a canvas together if you just go for a two-color painting. Love it. What I also like about it, it's quite opaque. You maybe have to go over your first layer maybe once more, but then that color is really, really opaque. And even with those 60 milliliters, you get a lot of canvas colored with that. So I very, very much like it. And it's a color that I use, for example, in pumpkins, in sunflowers, that I also use in a couple of portraits, but only here and there. I also use it like for any fall scenes when it comes to foresty or wood areas. Very much like them there. And oh, I think that's that. Do I use them? Let me look. Oh, fire! I like them. I like to use that color when I paint fire. I just looked over the on the upper part of my ceiling where I use pretty much any yellow color that I own in the yellow part of my puzzle, and I'm just sitting slightly to the left of the flames in my puzzle. So I used this color tone on the flames as well. Let's go on, shall we? Let's go from the now to the dark part and then come back to the light. The next one. This is one of the bigger containers and it's cadmium orange tone. This is only, I hope you can see it at the camera. Like when you compare those, it's only slightly more orangey, so the red pigment is a bit more heavy in the orange one than in the yellow one. With this one, the yellow pigment is stronger. That's pretty much the only difference. This looks a bit cooler, so I'd say there might be one or two blue parts, two parts of blue pigment in there. However, I'm not sure about that, so I don't know. It just states two pigments, and I'm not sure if one of those is leans more on the cooler side of things. Anyway, I very much like this one, though this is not opaque at all at the first layer. You have to go 2 or 3 times over that certain area that you're painting, or mix it with another color to have it opaque at the first go. That's actually something that I dislike about the color. That I pretty much dislike about any acrylic color. I don't want them to be translucent. On the first layer, if I would have wanted that, I would have gone for watercolors. That's what I'd say. However, this is a very, very, very great mixing color. If you go for the cadmium reds, which are more of the orangey reds, you can have beautiful blending done when you blend the orange tone to the cadmium red tone, and it's just very fluent. It's the next tone on the scale, like downwards to the purple colors. Then the next one beside this one to the red parts is the cadmium red, and they work very nicely next to each other or on top of each other. Also, if you just use a tiny bit of red cadmium, mix it with that cadmium orange, you get a more reddish orange tone, for one. You also get a bit more opaqueness on the first go. And the third thing is it takes away that kind of cool look of this orange, but make it a really warm, fiery orange that you recognize from sunsets, for example. That brilliant warm orange that you know from flames, from sunset, from when a shuttle or something is starting and you have the yellow flames underneath that dissolve into nothing, there's only a very tiny part of the flames underneath the space shuttle, for example, or the rockets, is of a red tone, it being red or orange. And you can pretty much exactly hit that kind of tone with a cadmium orange, cadmium red. I find that fascinating, that you just need those two colors to go from very red to almost yellowish orange. So that's what I actually use that a lot for, also for the flames, and mixing it for the shadow parts, flowers, pumpkins, anything like that. So we're getting brighter again on the bright side. Naples yellow is the next one. This is my second favorite yellow, no, third favorite, I'd say. I don't know. 1, 2, oh yeah, it's 3. It's number 3 of my favorite yellows. This is a very dull or quiet yellow. It almost leans to the brown or light ochre spectrum of the yellows. It also has just one pigment, it says. Oh well. So what I like about that is, again, it stands back. It's more in the background. It's dull. It's not hurting you, poking your eye, going for like, I want your attention. If you paint something that should be more in the background or more on the quiet part of the spectrum in whatever painting, I would highly suggest Naples yellow. Also, this is awesome for any Mediterranean or Northern Africa paintings. This color is pretty much or at least part of the Sahara. This is the color that you use it on when you paint sand or buildings that are made out of sand and chalk, maybe. So I like that color a lot for any kind of stone that has sun on it, like especially in the Mediterranean or Northern African parts of the world, I have to say. Also, I like it a lot for weed or I don't know, whatever kind of grain that you have on a field somewhere. I like that a lot. It almost reminds me of the oil colors that Van Gogh used in his sowing farmer paintings, where you have them cutting down the crops and all of that. So this is a very natural tone. You could use this for pretty much any color, any painting that you do of any kind of nature where you have a plant in late summer, I'd say, or a stone for that matter. The next one, this is my second favorite color after the cadmium yellow dark hue, and this is Indian yellow. This is a brighter yellow, also more on the orangey side. It almost reminds me of saffron or mustard, I have to say. It's very bright and it's very vibrant, but it's not as bright as cadmium yellow hue tone. Let me see if I can you see that? It's very similar to each other. This one is a bit more yellowish than this one. This has more red pigment, I'd say. Does it, by the way, say? Yeah, it says it has 3 pigments. This has 3, and there's more red in them than in this one. This one has only 1 pigment, and this pigment in here is also the first one that is named in here. So they are very close. But again, this is more on the red part of the spectrum. This is way more yellowish. And it is almost opaque on the first go. Maybe second layer. Depending on if you have a real hairbrush or a synthetic brush, there's a difference too, I know. From very many paintings that I painted with this kind of color. And this is Aside from the cadmium yellow that I just showed you in the smaller container, this is the one that I use the most, by far. I'm just in love with this color. If anybody says yellow, I picture this kind of color. Not this kind of a yellow. I picture this. And I very much like the warm yellow sunset, late afternoon, sitting in a field of sunflowers yellow. This is what comes to my mind when I look at the Indian yellow. Also, of course, you can, hence the name. It also is very much a Far East yellow. So the colors in the clothes of Indonesia or Sri Lanka or India, of course, maybe a bit of Australia even. You get these color tones a lot. You get it in the earth there, and like in the buildings, a couple of plants, clothes, like especially for women, I'd say. Food, with the spices and everything, you see that color over and over again in Eastern Asia and parts of Australia, I'd say. So for anything that you paint, maybe in that is a painting of something that actually exists in that part of the world, I definitely have that, or a very similar tone on my palette. The next one, and second to last, is Chrome Yellow Tone. This one looks a bit tired again. It almost looks like a lighter Naples yellow. And I'm only using this one in two cases. Either to mix it with another color, to give it like a yellowish tone, or maybe produce a green. Or I use it with a palette knife as a background, as a solid background, for a cartoonish kind of a painting. This is not opaque at all on the first go. I don't know why it has two pigments in there only. One of them, iron oxide hydrate, should be water something. Anyways, I'm not using this one a lot. That's why it's still like that much color in there, but I use it for mixing other colors quite a bit, and for that this is a very nice color. It's very laid back, I have to say, but it is bright enough to give you the light or the lightness and the brightness in a painting, that your color that you're mixing is not too dark or not too dull. So for that, this kind of a color is perfect. I don't use it for any other things though. There's nothing I use it on other than a solid background in a pure way. Don't do it. But I guess you could do that. It's just not my favorite color to do that. And sometimes it's more of an emotional decision than a logical one. I guess everybody has their favorite media, their favorite colors, their favorite tones to do something. The last one is cadmium yellow tone. This is pretty much the light version of this one. This is hue dark and this is hue light. And I'm using this a lot for, again, mixing colors, solid backgrounds, anything where the light hits a yellow painting. Like, for example, I paint, I don't know what, a flower. Let's go for the flowers again. I paint a flower and it's yellow, and with this one I would paint the lighter parts, like where the light hits the flower. I would paint those parts a lot with this one, together with the lemon yellow. With all of the rest of the colors that I just showed you, I would color in the medium tones or the mid-tones and the darks, having a couple of browns in there as well. So I use this a lot when it comes to natural things like the sun and its reflections on water, maybe. things like birds, feathers, or bees, flowers. What else? I don't know, clothes. If somebody wears something yellow or has a yellow headband or something, I'm very much prone to use this color. This is a single pigment color. It's Monoazo Yellow Blast. Super great name. And it's almost empty. There's maybe like from here now with how much color is in there. Oh no, here. I'm here. So this was used up this year only. When 2014 started, this one was full, pretty much. But then again, it's, like I said, one of my favorite colors to mix. I use it a lot, and I just like how bright it is and how, well, classically, traditionally yellow it is. It's not something that I would use as the main color in any natural things. I would go maybe a bit more dark or toned down, but it's a great color for highlights on natural things. So I very, very much like it. Anyway, I think that's that for today. I'm almost probably 20 minutes in, I'd say, and I'm just having a sip. Hold on. I guess I'm pretty much 20 minutes into the video, so I think it's time to wrap it up for today. I should be able to make a vlog tomorrow, but then it is about this week's painting, which is totally weird and like crazy looking. And I try to make a vlog about that tomorrow. Otherwise, I hope you had a very good day, or last 2 days I should say, and if you have any questions, please let me know. Otherwise, I'm going to see you on the next vlog, which, fingers crossed, is going to take place tomorrow. Have a good one, take good care, go create something beautiful, and have a very good time. Goodbye.